Anybody who watches Coffin 666 has noticed this exchange he had with Fool for a Lifetime, which is actually better, I think, described as Tool for a Lifetime, and his friend Crazy 316. Now, these are two black guys who are out there basically saying that gay people should not have the right to marriage and stuff. And, you know, you would think that for a while, you know, the whole gay marriage thing kind of died off. But I noticed, now you have to understand that Tool for a Lifetime and Crazy Idiot are Christians. So, of course, it falls into place. They're these same type of Christians like Yoke Up. You know, they kind of well, maybe Benefang X doesn't do it as much. But many of them concentrate on gays. It makes you kind of wonder why to begin with. It's like, you know, the Bible says that all sins are equal in the eyes of God, yet these guys don't concentrate on the sin of lying. They don't make videos on the sin of adultery. They don't make videos on the sin of worshiping false idols. No, they just seem to focus on gay people. So it kind of betrays them. It betrays their true nature. That it's really not the sin. They're just homophobes, gay haters that have found refuge within Christianity. Now, there's a specific part. I mean, basically this Crazy 316 guy is a fucking moron, and his whole video, it's not even really worth commenting. It's just a couple little key things I wanted to comment on. First off, the little bigot made a statement to Coughlin that he really couldn't make a statement about civil rights because his complexion didn't allow it. Or something to that term. So he loves to try to say people lie and twist his shit. So you're free to go look at the video and see for yourself what he said, and you'll know what I'm getting at. Point is, the general consensus from Crazy 316 was because Coughlin is white, he can't really talk about the civil rights movement. I would like to point out one thing to you, Crazy. Whites can fully speak about the civil rights movement. You know why? Because at the peak of your population, black people have only achieved 10% of our population. Slavery was eliminated because of whites. Blacks did not have any power back then. It was whites that eliminated slavery. At the time of the civil rights movement, you were 6 to 8% of the population when Martin Luther King was around. You think at 6 to 8% of the population you had any fucking power at all? Absolutely not. Non-bigot white people are what brought the civil rights movement to the forefront. They supported Martin Luther King. They sided with Martin Luther King. And they pressured the government to take a stand and end the bullshit. You couldn't have done it alone. White people were the power behind that. So don't say, we don't have a say. We can't speak about the civil rights movement. Today, you are 10% of the population. Do you really think 10% of the population could vote Barack Obama into power? No. They couldn't. The majority of the population is still white. The vast majority is still non-black. Who do you think put Barack Obama into power? The black people? No. It was the white people. The non-blacks, the whites, the Hispanics, the Asians. They're the ones who put him in power. Every black person in America could have voted against Barack Obama, and we still could have put him in power because we have that much more voting power over the blacks. So don't say white people do not have the complexion to speak on the civil rights movement, because it wouldn't have ever happened without us. So don't talk your bullshit. And then you go on to say how Coughlin's vote, in his opinion, doesn't mean shit because he doesn't live in this country. In case you haven't noticed, Skippy, this is a world community now. What takes place in one country affects a lot of other nations. So yes, his opinion does count, because it's not just America that's still trying to just put an end to discrimination against gay people. There's a lot of nations that are still fighting that. And then there's a lot of nations that are much more enlightened than us and that are way ahead of us on that scale. We're still trying to play catch up. But unfortunately, of course, those countries that are ahead are now being conquered by Islam, who is highly homophobic, ethnocentric, and barbaric. But that's a whole different subject. Now I'm going to address one last thing with you. You, Tool for a Lifetime, and many other black vloggers here on YouTube have all... They seem to try to say that the gay rights movement can't compare to the civil rights movement. And you're always focusing on the intensity of what has happened. You know, and you, trying to be the completely dishonest person you are, you try to justify and validate your opinion by confining the argument to America. Well, the argument isn't confined to America. It's worldwide. And worldwide, you couldn't be more than wrong. There are a bunch of countries out there, mostly Islamic, where being gay is punishable by the death penalty. Government sanctioned. That's here in 2009. I don't recall there being government sanctioned death penalty for being black in America. How does that feel when I try to validate shit by confining it to America like you did? Doesn't work, does it? We can forget all about South Africa and apartheid by confining our argument to America. And I can minimize the current civil rights of black people. And I can twist and fuck with facts the way you do and completely turn it around to where the civil rights movement of blacks was nothing compared to the civil rights movement of gays. But if we want to be honest about this and straightforward, open up this conversation to what's going on in this world we live in. A world that we're not separated from other countries. Then you gotta be completely open. And the open facts are that everything that has happened to blacks is happening to gays and has happened to gays. Except for slavery, as far as I know. And maybe somewhere they made gays slaves. I don't know. I've never heard of such a thing. But if that's the only difference, I fully will say that there's no difference between the civil rights movement of African Americans and the civil rights movement of gays, like you try to say. And even if the intensity was tons more for blacks, how does that change the fundamental basics of civil rights for gays? I've heard Tool for a Lifetime and other idiots out there say that gays don't want equal rights, they want special rights. Because they already have the right to marry somebody of the opposite sex. That is the most ridiculous argument anybody could come up with. It is so fucking retarded. I would kind of almost hope that you don't really believe it when you say it. Because if you really do believe something like that when you say it, that means you are truly beneath me and beneath everybody else when it comes to intellect. Because we can pretend it's, oh, they have a right to marry somebody of the opposite sex. But apparently they don't have a right to marry somebody that they love. They don't have the right to marry somebody of their choice. They don't have the right to marry as they please. And as far as the special rights idea goes, gays have never asked for special rights. Because with the passage of gay marriage laws, you would have the right to marry somebody of the same sex too. So that is not a right that would just be given to gay people. You would get it too. You would get it. Oh wait, what? But what? That's a meaningless right because you don't want to marry somebody of the same sex? Think about that one for a while, you fucking idiot. You're such a fucking pansy. You're a bigot. You're stupid as fuck. And you disgust me. And you disgust the world. And you are a disgrace to every person, white, black, Hispanic, everyone who's ever fought for civil rights. You're a disgrace to their memory. Fuck you.